Now, WUSA 9 Game On Sports with Frank Hanrahan. Brought to you by Xfinity.
Well, now is the time to not think you have accomplished anything. We're talking about the Wizards, who were playing great basketball before the All-Star break. Not so much since losing to Philadelphia on Friday night. Utah in town earlier, and it was not pretty for the Wizards. Jazz take out the Wiz Kids 102-92. Was not a good game for the Wizards. Only 2 starters in double figures. They've lost 2 straight, and they host, guess who? Golden State on Tuesday night. Meanwhile, Maryland women taking care of business on Senior Day, rolling over Minnesota, and with the win, clinch a share of the Big Ten title. All right, coming up on Game On Overtime, I go one-on-one with this guy, Hall of Famer Gary Williams, as we reflect on Maryland's national championship, which is already 15 years ago. To the track, Kurt Busch taking advantage of a lot of wrecks and a lot of the top drivers in the sport out of the race because of those wrecks, and he takes the checkered flag and wins Daytona 500. And also coming up on Game On Overtime, really cool story. Find out how one high school lacrosse team is using blue jeans to help those in need get shoes. The answer coming up next on Game On Overtime.
Wow, I can't wait to see that.
Pretty interesting. Yes.
All right, well, thanks for that tease. Talk to us.
Cold tonight. It's going to be a cold start tomorrow, but we'll be in the 50s in the afternoon. Perhaps an isolated shower. Late showers Tuesday, 60s. Yellow weather alert Wednesday. Showers and storms 70s, and then what Deborah doesn't like, Friday, colder with some flurries back in the 40s.
Hey, it's not about me. But everyone, get all your different coats out.
Yeah,
you can get updates anytime on our WUSA 9 app. Don't go anywhere. Game On Overtime, and Frank is next.
Check 1, 2.
This is Game On Overtime.
We got a lot of basketball to get to on Game On Overtime on all levels. Post All-Star break so far, yeah, not too kind to the Wizards, who were looking to take out the Jazz. It was a blast from the past in College Park, celebrating the 15-year anniversary of the NCAA title. High school playoffs heating up as well. We take you around the region with the very latest.
Drivers, start your engines!
Biggest day in NASCAR, of course, and there were lots and lots of crashes. That and much more as Game On Overtime starts right now. Hey there, welcome inside Game On Overtime with Frank Hanrahan. You know the way the Wizards were playing before the All-Star break? We were daring to dream a possible run for the top spot in the Eastern Conference, but maybe we should temper our enthusiasm after the Wizards dropped at Philadelphia, a loss. A chance, though, to get back right with Utah in town. A little late afternoon matinee at Verizon Center. Things look better for the Wiz early in this one. Second quarter, Wiz down 3, but in transition, Otto poured the lob to John Wall, who dunks it home. 23 points for Wall. Bradley Beal had 22 points, but did not score until this bucket in the third quarter. And yeah, on the scoreboard, the Wizards were down 13, and DC had no answer for the All-Star Gordon Hayward, who led all scorers with 30 points. Wiz only 2 starters in double figures dropped their second straight, 102-92. And to discuss more of the Washington Wizards and where they are at right now, Danny Rouillet, 106.7 The Fan, Grant and Danny 10-2, and headman at Catholic University, Steve Howes, back in the house. Good to see you guys. These gentlemen know their basketball, and I want to get your take on the Wizards first and foremost. That trade that went down on Wednesday, right, or Thursday, whenever it was. Your thoughts on it? They get a shooter and some guy who probably won't contribute.
I like Bogdanovich. He is a shooter, but he can play a little bit, create his own offense on a really, really bad team. That'll help with second units. The kid you mentioned, McCullough, out of Syracuse, hasn't done much in the pros. Some upside athleticism, can stroke a little bit, kind of a future potential athletic 4. But in a vacuum, this deal is a good one for the Wizards. They got something they needed and gave up a piece that, was part of a bad contract in terms of Andrew Nicholson. The problem is it's correcting a mistake. That was a bad contract with Andrew Nicholson. So if you're just grading this one a vacuum, Coach, I give it a B+. But again, it was kind of fixing a previous mistake.
I agree with you on the grade. The second unit has to be better for them to advance far in the playoffs. Bogdanovich can do that. He can score. He's got size. Their bench needs to contribute more than 11 points that they had against the Sixers the other night. Hopefully Bogdanovich, once the on-court chemistry gets there after some time, hopefully that can propel them.
Here's my concern, guys. They lose at Philadelphia to the Sixers after the All-Star break. You're supposed to come back rested and ready for this unofficial second half of the season. They had 26, 27 games left, and they start with a clunker. I'm concerned about reading your own press clippings, thinking that you're good now. You got to put the pedal to the metal to make a run at either the 2 or maybe the 1 seed, right?
Well, to hold on to the 3 at least, because Toronto got better. Toronto got a lot better, in fact. They were active at the trade deadline, adding Ibaka and some other pieces. So they're good. They're breathing on your heels. And Boston is still very good ahead of you. Cleveland's on cruise control. You basically want to stay in that 2 or 3 spot, I think, Coach. Even if you don't have home court, you want to avoid Cleveland potentially in that second round.
No doubt, especially the way you played it at home all year so far. The thing that concerns me is the backup point guard spot. Now that you have those other pieces, Mahimi's coming back, Trey Burke's more of a score-first point guard, it'd be nice to have a little Andre Miller, from way back. And now you see those, Darren Williams is moving somewhere, Jose Calderon's going somewhere. That's a piece to get those other guys engaged, and maybe somewhere along the line they can add that. So
the Wizards right now, they are, they're skittish a little bit, but they should get things back on the horse as they got Golden State coming to town on Tuesday night.
Not a get-right game.
Not a get-right game for them. That will be fun, at least, to see Golden State in town. All right, these guys will be back a little bit later on to discuss some college basketball. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Drivers, start your engines!
Hey, that's the Grand Marshal, Lightning McQueen himself, Owen Wilson. Nice little cross promotion. I see what they're doing there. Hey, first Daytona 500 was way back in 1959 as they raced on the beaches. Now, obviously, on a long track, it is a great American race as NASCAR kicked off the season with its biggest spectacle at Daytona International Speedway. Yes, it was Happy Daytona Day, everybody. Early in the second stage, the first big wreck of the day. Kyle Busch was leading, spins out, causing a chain reaction. His day was done after winning the first stage. 59 laps to go, and it's another big wreck at Daytona. Several cars wiping out. This is only the first race of the year. Fast forward to the end, and it's the other Busch, Kurt Busch. There's controversy around him a couple years ago, not today, as he wins Daytona.
The more that becomes unpredictable about Daytona, the more it becomes predictable to predict unpredictability. I mean, this car is completely thrashed. There's not a straight panel on it. The strategy today, who knew what to pit when, what segments were what. Everybody's wrecking as soon as we were done with the second segment. I don't know. I mean, the more that I've run this race, the more that I've just throw caution to the wind, let her rip, and just elbows out.
Coming up next on Game On Overtime, we try to figure out what's up with Maryland basketball. Now, losers of 3 straight need to get together for the stretch run.